Good morning. Try that again. Good, you can hear me now. My name is Rick Jors. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees here at Mainline Unitarian Church, and a very welcome morning to all of you. As you can see, we're set up for our winter solstice. A little bit different look in here for us this morning, and we have a great service for you today. So welcome here into our community of sharing, caring, and exploring. We come together each Sunday to find meaning as we discover the sacred in our lives. And we welcome you, if this is your first time visiting, to come for coffee and conversation in the fireside room just across from here after the service today. I have a couple short announcements and reminders about some services. The first one is just that joys and sorrows can still be shared. They're right over there. So if you like, during the prelude, you can write some joys and sorrows right over there. The second thing is that after the service today, we could use your help, if you've got time, to prepare for Luminaria for the Christmas Eve service. So folks are welcome to even take a few home with them if they like, if you help with that. And then there will be two services on Christmas Eve. There's a 4 o'clock service. Dawn Starr will lead that service, and that'll be a nativity pageant. And then at 6 o'clock, Neil will lead Christmas carols and candles service at 6 p.m. So I hope to see you there. Bring your family and friends.
We begin this service by calling the directions and casting a circle, a sacred space for our time together. And I'd like some helpers with this. I've got some adult helpers who are handling the actual flame and stuff, but are there kids who would like to help with this? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to send like 2 or 3 kids to each quarter. So I'll send, can you guys do it up there? Help Nuala. Okay. So I'm going to send you guys over here with Reverend Neil. Where is Reverend Neil? In the wrong place. That's where he is. Okay. Day, you and Grayson are going to go back there. That's Grayson. See, his name tag says so. Okay. And Junie and Celia, you're going to go over there to Terry. Okay? All right. Go back there to Eileen.
Hey, guys.
You're going to go back there to Eileen, who's got the yellow candle. Turn around. Go that way. Okay. Grayson, follow her. Okay. Are we good?
Yep.
Okay. Very good.
Thanks, guys.
So the rest of you,
That's what I'll say.
as you are
You
willing
don't say,
or
I'll say.
able to stand and face in the direction that we're working with, you can do that. Or if you don't want to stand up, you can just sit up straight and turn your head. But we're going to start that way, towards the east, which is the direction we all came in from. So what the kids are going to do is a motion. And I'll be there and I'll show them what to do. And anybody else who wants to do the motion can. But I wanted some kids to demonstrate. Okay, are we ready? Okay.
She tell you all what to do.
Come, spirit of the east, spirit of frosty cold and a quiet mind. We call the spirit of the air. Be with us here.
And the motion is to put your hands together in front of your chest in a prayer motion and just breathe. You can keep doing that while we carry the flame around slowly so it doesn't go out to the south.
Come, Spirit of the South, Spirit of warm blankets and a loving heart. We call the Spirit of the Fire. Be with us here.
The motion here is hug yourself.
Yourself.
And now we turn to face west. Come, Spirit of the West, Spirit of freezing rain and falling snow and flowing feelings. We call the Spirit of the Water. Be with us here.
And wave your hands like a wave.
Now turn to face the north. Come, Spirit of the north, Spirit of bare trees and a strongly rooted body. We call the Spirit of the earth. Be with us here.
And this motion is stamping your feet to the ground. And now we all turn again to the center. Come, Spirit of the center, Spirit of glowing flames and balanced wholeness. We call the Spirit of the center. Be with us here. And this motion is to spin in a circle, carefully.
So I'll do it.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
And now, let us sing together, Come, Come, Whoever You Are, hymn number 188. The words will be up on the screen for those of you who are facing that way, or are in your hymnals if you're not facing that way. Or if you know them, we can just sing. You may be seated.
Come sit by our fire and let us share stories. Let me hear your tales of far-off lands, wanderer, and I will tell you of my travels. Share your experience of the holy with me, worshiper, and I will tell you of that which I find divine. Come and stay, lover of leaving, for ours is no caravan of despair, but of hope. We would hear your stories of grief and sorrow as readily as those of joy and laughter. For there is a time and a place and a hearing for all the stories of this world. Stories are the breath and word of the Spirit of life, that power that we name love. Come, for our fire is warm, and we have seats for all. Come again and yet again. Come speak to me of what fills your heart, what engages your mind, what resides in your soul. Come, let us worship together. And now if we would stand, we'll sing again our hymn.
Come, come, whoever you are, wander.
Our lives can be a complex fabric in which the threads of joys and sorrows, successes and failures, gifts and losses are woven together. During Candles of Community, we acknowledge all the threads which tie our lives together. After each candle is lit, please join me in saying, "We hold you in our hearts." Rick Andrews comes to light a candle on behalf of Ron D'Annunzio. Ron is mourning the passing of his friend Patty Carbo, the wife of his dear friend Jim. For Ron and Jim, we hold
you in our hearts.
And Jeff Erickson comes to light a candle for his dear friend Bob, who is suffering in his recovery from the disease of alcoholism. For Jeff and his friend Bob, we hold
you in our hearts.
Amen.
And for all other joys and sorrows, too deep to be spoken, we hold you in our hearts. We hold you in our hearts. We have a hearth here in the center of our room, and I'm going to tell a story around it. And if anyone would like to come up and sit on our logs around our hearth for the story, they may. This is the story of the very first song. It is a true story, as all stories are, if you believe in them. This story begins a long, long time ago, when the earth and the sun gave birth to the first beings, the very first plants and animals and people. It was springtime, and the sun shone warm and bright from his high perch above the earth. And the earth, proud mother that she was, held and fed her newborns and relished them with tenderness and love. It was a time of joy. It was a time of great delight. The moon waxed and waned time and again in the night sky, and the children of the earth grew well and strong through summertime. They played and danced, and earth and sun watched over them. Then autumn came, and the earth began to sleep much longer every day. She grew tired and pale. She could no longer feed her children and had no strength to grow new life. And high above the sun grew distant and took longer to return each morning. The nights grew longer. The cold winds blew where none had blown before. And then one day, the earth went to sleep and never did wake up. She wrapped herself in a blanket of snow and rested her tired head on pillows of dried leaves, and she did not wake up. Her children could do nothing to rouse her from her slumber. They prodded her, they called to her, but she would not awaken. In the sky, the sun was nowhere to be seen, and the children of the earth felt fear and also felt despair. This was the longest night that they had ever known.
What shall become of us?
They pondered.
Earth Mother sleeps, and Father Son is oh so far away that we can barely see him in the sky.
He is much too far to hear our call. What shall we do?
So they brought their questions and their fears to the moon, the sister of the sun, for they knew not where else to turn. And she closed her eyes and took a slow, deep breath and looked within herself and awoke thoughts that had never been awakened until then. There's more to this story, but we're going to pause here. We're going to return to our seats. We're going to take some slow, deep breaths and look within ourselves and listen to thoughts we have not heard before. Let us raise our voices in song together. Let's rise as we're willing and able, noticing the moment of darkness and quiet in this story and in our lives. We're going to sing The Dark. The lyrics are in an insert in your order of service.
We are approaching the threshold of winter. Life is being drawn into the earth, painlessly descending down into the very heart of herself. And we, as natural human animals, are being called to do the same. The pull to descend into our bodies, into sleep, darkness, and the depths of our own inner caves, continually tugging at our marrow. But many find the descent into their own body a scary thing indeed, fearing the unmet emotions, the past events that they have stored in the dark caves inside themselves, not wanting to face what they have so carefully and unkindly avoided. This winter solstice time is no longer celebrated as it once was, with the understanding that this period of descent into our own darkness was so necessary in order to find our light. That true freedom comes from accepting, with forgiveness and love, what we have been through and vanquishing the hold it has on us, bringing the golden treasure back from the cave of our darker depths. This is a time of rest and deep reflection, a time to wipe the slate clean, as it were, and clear out the old so you can walk in the spring, feeling ready to grow and skip without a dusty mountain on your back and chains around your ankles, tied to the caves in your soul. A time for the medicine of story, of fire, of nourishment and love. A period of reconnecting, relearning, and reclaiming of what this time means, brings winter back to a time of kindness, love, rebirth, peace, and unburdening, instead of a time of dread, fear, depression, and avoidance. This modern culture teaches avoidance as a max at this time. Alcohol, lights, shopping, overworking, overspending, bad food, and consumerism. And yet the natural tug to go inwards, as nearly all creatures are doing, is strong. And people are left feeling as if there is something wrong with them. But winter is cruel and leaves them feeling abandoned and afraid. Whereas in actual fact, winter is so kind. Yes, she points us in her quiet, soft way towards our inner self, towards the darkness and potential death of what we were. But this journey, if held with care, is essential. She is like a strong teacher that asks you to awaken your inner loving elder or therapist, holding yourself with awareness of forgiveness and allowing yourself to grieve, to cry, rage, laugh, and face what we need to face in order to be freed from the jagged bonds we wrapped around our hearts, in order to reach a place of healing and light without going into overwhelm. Winter takes away the distractions, the noise, and presents us with the perfect time to rest and withdraw into a womb-like love, bringing fire and light to our hearth. So, I invite you to meditate for a few moments. Sit quietly, with your feet on the floor, a straight back, and maybe empty your hands. And if you wish, you may shut your eyes. Take a deep breath and let it out. And take another. Here, on this threshold of solstice, today, in this place, what is pulling you downwards into yourself? What is there in that quiet darkness? What are the names of your sorrows? What treasures do you see glinting there in the depths? Imagine a flame burning bright in your heart, just for you. Imagine holding it safe in your hands. In that flame, perhaps there is a voice with a message for you. What does that voice say? A word of love? A word of warning? A word of hope? May the darkness ease your mind. May the darkness comfort you. May the darkness bring you peace. Blessed be. And now, if you would stand as you are willing or able and sing with us hymn 55, The Dark of Winter. The words will be on the screen.
I invite you to stay standing, because the next thing we're going to do is a winter solstice body prayer. So I'm going to ask my fellow worship leaders to come into the center of the circle with me, and we're going to face everybody else so that we can demonstrate what we're doing and everybody else can see what to do. So the words of this prayer are very simple. It goes like this: May the solstice slow us down, give us rest, and help us grow. You want to start by saying that with me? May the solstice slow us down, give us rest, and help us grow. And then there's motions that go with this. So we're going to try it. So the first motion is you take your hand and you're going to make a big S shape in the air. So may the solstice. And then your other hand comes to join your first hand that you just brought down. Slow us down. Give us rest. Pillow your head. And help us grow. Stretch. Okay, so we'll try that one more time, and then we'll actually do it in speed. Not speed, but all together. So we'll try it again. May the solstice slow us down, give us rest, and help us grow. Okay, so let's do it 3 more times, just one after the other. We'll do it. Okay. May the solstice slow us down, bring us rest, and help us grow. May the solstice slow us down, bring us rest, and help us grow. May the solstice slow us down, bring us rest, and help us grow. You may return to your seats.
This month's recipient of our offering outreach is the Salvation Army's New Day to Stop Trafficking, located in Philadelphia. The center serves women who are experiencing a combination of commercial sexual exploitation, substance abuse, and homelessness by providing safe refuge, meals, social services, and exit strategies. So please give generously. And would our ushers please come forward to collect this morning's offering.
Join me in our circle around the hearth again. So as you remember, the moon was looking inward and thinking thoughts she had never thought before. And then the moon opened her soft eyes, and she said,
When hope is lost, the best way to get it back is with a song. Climb you to the tallest trees, the biggest hills, the highest mountains, and you'll a song to reach the sun.
Now, Yule is a word from one of the most ancient languages. It's related to words like yell or yodel, and it means to call out in song. But the first beings had never heard of a song, so once again they sought the moon's advice.
How shall we Yule?
They asked.
How shall we sing?
Take the best of what you have,
She said.
the best of what you are. Take what you love, take what you cherish most. Take your joys, your dreams, your fondest hopes, and weave them all together in sound.
And so they did. They climbed atop the tallest trees, the mountains, and the hills. They stood on all the places that would bring them closest to the sun. They shut their eyes and thought and felt the best of thoughts and feelings and dreamt the finest dreams. And as they did, their voices rang and made a bridge of song across the sky to reach the distant sun. Maybe their song sounded something like this. The sun is born again today. We greet the sun's first morning ray. We sing and celebrate the light. The sun's born in the longest night. Well, the sun heard and turned and smiled and wrapped himself in all of his light and warmth and sped to where the Yule voices called. And as he drew near, the sleeping earth did stir and dreamed a dream of spring. The wheel of life made its first round, and hope and joy prevailed, and ever since that time of year has been called Yule in honor of the song. But the first song did not end. It had such power, such eldritch allure, that the first beings kept singing it throughout. And then the second beings of earth took up the song, as did the third. And so it ever since has gone through seasons and through years until this very day. And we're all going to sing this song in parts. Not parts like a round, but parts of the room. So those of you who are the elders in the room, who are 65 years old or older, just as an arbitrary cutoff, because I had to do something, because otherwise people don't know what I'm talking about. You're the first part. And you're going to sing through the song twice. And then I'm going to have those who are in their middle ages in the congregation join in, okay? So if you're about 35 to 65, that's me, okay? And you'll sing it through twice. Everybody, all the old people will keep singing, and the middle-aged people will. I aspire to be an old person, everybody. I'm just not there yet. Okay, so then everybody will keep singing, but the middle-aged people will join in. We'll sing twice. And then we'll sing it 2 more times with all the youngsters joining in. Anybody who's younger than we just talked about, okay? We got it? Okay, so Vincent, maybe just give us an intro, and then we'll go right in. So are the elders ready? Okay. I'll sing along just because I want to be an elder someday, and also to make it so we know what we're doing. the song is very soft and scarcely can be heard above the din and clatter of our lives. But when Yule comes, it rises and it swells in memory of that night when the sun heard and light and life were spared. And so do we, upon this solstice, gather with those we love and who love us, and stand upon the body of the slumbering earth, and lift our voices soaring to the sun, and join the song that was sung first so very long ago. We sing our thanks to those who went before, and sing our fondest wish to those who come behind. We bask in the returning light of reawakened hope, and welcome Yule. Let's sing it one more time. The sun is born again to earth, we greet the sun's first morning red. We sing and celebrate the light, the sun's born in the longest night.
Our benediction is a responsive reading. Your line is, "The light is reborn. In the greatest darkness,
The light
Is reborn.
out of winter's cold,
Light is reborn.
from our deepest fears,
The light is reborn.
when we most despair,
The light is reborn.
when all seems lost,
The light is reborn.
when the earth lies waste,
The light is reborn.
when animals hide,
The light is reborn.
when the leaves are gone,
The light is reborn.
when the river is frozen,
The light is reborn.
when the ground is hard,
The light is reborn.
shadows are fleeing,
The light is reborn.
light is returning,
The light is reborn.
warmth will come again,
The light is reborn.
summer will be here once more, thank God,
The light is reborn.
plants will grow again,
The light is reborn.
animals will be seen once more,
The light is reborn.
green will come again,
The light is reborn.
life will continue.
The light is reborn. And so, we close the service by thanking the spirits who have been with us today. Please repeat after me. Thank you, Spirit of the center.
Thank you, Spirit of the center.
Thank you, Spirit of the north.
Thank you, Spirit of the north.
Thank you, Spirit of the west.
Thank you, Spirit of the west.
Thank you, Spirit of the south.
Thank you, Spirit of the south.
Thank you, Spirit of the east.
Thank you, Spirit of the east.
Merry meet
Merry meet
and merry part
and merry part
and merry meet again.
and merry meet again.
Blessed be. And now, if you would remain seated, we will close with the postlude.